your program in November, and I was at the beginning super overwhelmed with the logic game section, but I've had a lot of improvement on it. So I'm feeling really, really good, which is great. And the videos and everything. And so that's been great. My main concerns would be for reading comprehension. Like sometimes I get overwhelmed with the amount of text and I start to panic a little bit, like when it's, find the main argument or the purpose of the argument, and I get a little flustered. So if you had any tips or techniques or anything to not get super overwhelmed or stressed out, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. I mean, one idea is to just drill main points specifically. So read a passage. What's the main point? If you're not sure, to get started, just look at the answer. Just check the answer for that related question and see how LSAT articulates it. Don't even worry about the other questions. Just aim to nail that. I know it's giving you trouble, but if you don't get that, then you're going to lose a lot of the passage. So I want you to make sure that if nothing else, you can learn to get that either from LSAC's wording and the correct answer, or over time, you'll start to pre-phrase it. And then you'll see if your pre-phrase is in line with what LSAC is saying.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. I guess another one would be even the layout for this would be the first time I'm taking like a proctored exam. And so it has me like a little nervous about like how the layout will be of the exam, and like if will there be breaks between sections? Like if like a logical reasoning section comes up, then a break, and then reading comp, and then a break, or?
Great question. So a standard sitting of the LSAT is 2 sections back to back, a 10-minute break between sections 2 and 3, and then sections 3 and 4 back to back, no break. There's just a 1-minute countdown between 1 and 2 and between 3 and 4. That's it. And in terms of the look and feel of the exam, have you been using LawHub?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. So it'll look the same as that.
Okay. Just like that, like when it comes up. And I was just wondering, like, will someone be watching me as I take the exam? Like on my screen, will I be able to see them?
So they can see you, but you can't see them. It's a little weird.
Okay.
But they're not only looking at you, they're watching several students simultaneously. They're not able to maintain a one-to-one, but they will either communicate via a chat box or via audio.
Okay.
I think it's up to them how they choose to communicate, but it will be either or both of those ways.
Okay. Thank you. And then I guess my other question is, this is like just general like test taking and anxiety and stress. But when I'm going through questions and like sometimes if I don't like instinctively see like a right answer, or like I start to panic a little bit and like stress out. And I'm just wondering for like ways that I can like not have that happen, that I get so stressed out, then the rest of the test I'm like, panicking for the rest of it.
For sure. Totally understood. A couple of thoughts come to mind. One is mindfulness practice to focus on learning to let go of whatever came before, move on to the next thing so you can focus on exactly the question in front of you at that moment. Have you ever tried mindfulness meditation, focusing on breath, things like that?
No, I haven't. No, but
I would give it a shot.
Okay.
Even just a couple minutes a day, even just starting as small as you need to. It could be 30 seconds, could be a minute, even over the next month or so. It could help, because the idea is that you notice when your mind is wandering, you bring it back to the task at hand, whether it's your breath or it's an LSAT question. Whatever happened previously, we're letting go of that. We're moving on to this single question, knowing that everything's worth the same and no one question will make or break you.
Right.
The other thought that comes to mind separately is that it's not always about pre-phrasing. Your pre-phrase or your prediction may not match what LSAC was looking for, especially for a strengthen or weaken question. There could be a variety of ways to strengthen or weaken an argument.
Right.
So what you came up with, what you predicted, may not be what they were looking for. It's just somewhat arbitrary. And then the other thing is that a lot of times, like for example, on reading comp, they're really good at making the right answers seem unappealing. So it really is the best of the worst. And so sometimes, especially in reading comp, I would recommend working by process of elimination. So you're not looking for the right answer, you're looking for 4 wrong answers and knocking those out.
Okay. Okay. That helps a lot. Yeah. I tend to like, just even with other exams, get in my own head. And I know like that's a big part of this for me is like, I'm feeling prepared and like I'm feeling ready for the exam. It's just the anxiety of taking the exam, which sometimes, I don't want that to affect my performance. So if I can control that, and that would be good.
For sure, of course.
To the best of my ability. Yeah.
How many have you taken a good number of practice tests?
I have. So I started probably timing myself maybe 3 weeks ago, going through time practice tests and excuse me, sorry, just on games separately, seeing how long it will take me to go through like a logic game and seeing my time if it's like within like I've been around like 6 to 8 minutes depending on the game. Like some are a little harder than others and some are super quick and I could get done maybe in like 4 or 5 minutes. But so I've been practicing timed tests probably about 3 weeks ago, and I've done I would say maybe like half of what Law Hub has on their list so far.
Nice. That's a lot of exams, and we're talking about like 30, 40. Yeah, that's great. I mean, the idea is that you want to get a lot of those under your belt so that test day is like just another run through. So taking those 4 section sittings with the 10-minute break in the middle, also scrambling the order. It could be that games is first. It could be that games is last. I know that in Law Hub, it's games, reasoning, reading comp. Yes. That's not necessarily how it's going to be on test day.
Oh, okay.
So
good to know.
The sections could be in any order, and you're only going to have 1 scored section of LR on test day. So 1 scored of games, 1 scored of reasoning, 1 scored of reading comp, and then the extra unscored experimental section could be any of the 3 types.
Okay.
So make sure that you're randomizing it and mixing it up in each of those ways so that you're ready for whatever they throw your way.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I'll do that because I've definitely been in my mind. I'm thinking, okay, I'll be like logic games, the 2 logical reasoning, and then the reading comp. So no, okay, I'll switch them up.
Good.
Just so I'm prepared kind of thing. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I was going to ask you, we're like, maybe it's hard for you to answer, but any specific like practice tests in general, like would you recommend like going through before test day, like any in particular or certain questions to focus on?
I would suggest really the most recent. So make sure that you've completed the most recent ones before test day because they best reflect the evolution of the LSAT over time. So those in the 80s and 90s. Okay,
perfect. Okay, awesome. I think that was all my questions I had, but that was very, very helpful. And
my pleasure, Sarah, of course.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, your course has helped me a lot, especially for logic games. I was very stressed and overwhelmed and like intimidated looking at them, like, oh, I don't even know where to start, but now it's almost like instinctive with the games, which is good. It feels like the most learnable section.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. It is. And I'm so glad to hear you're finding the course helpful. If you need anything at all moving forward between now and your test date, just reach out. I'm happy to help.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you too.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.